morning. That was a really good night, actually. Like, there were really no problems at all. And it rained, like, right when the sun was coming up, but it seems to be over now, and, like, it's nice outside, and we've got our doors opened, and, yeah, so this was an excellent place to park. I have no idea where we are, and we have no idea where the waterfalls we thought were nearby are, but everything else went really well. And, there's also, I wish I had got a picture of it. There's this big, like, it looks like a giant pheasant.
Turkey.
Yeah, it's like a turkey or something.
A small turkey, giant pheasant.
Yeah, and can you imitate him?
It's like a high pitched noise, and then the sound of a motorcycle. It really sounds exactly. I don't know if it sounds exactly like the noises I made, but it sounds exactly like I said. Yeah, he's hiding around here somewhere.
He's weird, man.
And I told Eric it's just a goose with a motorcycle.
It's so weird.
Haven't seen his motorcycle yet. I think it's broken down. Just trying to kickstart it.
Yeah, so it's breakfast time. What have you got for breakfast this morning?
Well, I'm going to start with yours because yours is boring.
No way.
All right. These are just maple pancakes with margarine. They're putting margarine on everything. This is Calorie Mate, and maybe you don't know about Calorie Mate. Basically, we call this...
Hold on. Oh, go ahead. Yeah, you can say.
We call this salaryman food. And it's just like 400 calories in a packet. You can eat it, and you don't need to ever worry about food.
To call it food would be... It's like salaryman chow. It's not food. It's just like a substance. So it comes in these little...
stick format. Pre-sticked. And this flavor is maple. Eric's gone very much for maple this morning.
No, I didn't do that on purpose.
And I'd like to see, I've eaten a lot of these. They have chocolate, they have cheese, they have maple, and they have plain. My favorite is plain, because it tastes like cake batter and beer mixed together. It's really weird, and I like it. Yeah, maple's also very good. But here you go.
Yeah, so this is like for the salary man that doesn't have time to eat. Like, it's just calories. Like, it's not food. It's just
it's got other valuable things in it.
But it's like vitamins and stuff. It's not like you wouldn't eat this because you enjoy eating. You eat this so you stay alive.
Yes, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? It's like it's like dog food basically for people. It's like salary man chow.
So it's got all this stuff in it over here, but it's really dry.
It's got the consistency of a cookie, but even drier. Like, I can feel it taking the moisture from me. And I mean, the flavor is good. It's a lot like a cookie. I haven't had so many of these things. This one might have nuts in it or something.
No, it's got these little crunchy things. Plain has it too.
Yeah.
I don't know what the crunch is.
I don't know what it is.
The crunch is survival. Okay.
It's just a tube. Hold on. Let's check out my margarine. Seasoned viewers will remember the margarine and strawberry jam hot dog.
From Nagoya.
I tried to find that. They didn't have one. We got this all at a convenience store last night, by the way. So is this just one thing, or is it many things? Okay, it splits apart. So is one maple? Oh, no. So you got the margarine in a nice little circle, keeping the maple under control.
The policing of the maple is... I like that.
That's pretty nice.
You know there's some robot that like kisses that pancake and just squirts out the stuff there. It's just...
Circle. And then his friend comes along and bleh, maple. It's a really gross situation. This is good though. Yeah, these robots have done us good.
Let me see this.
It's pretty delicious.
Oh, that maple does look good.
It's way better than the Calorie Mate, dude.
Sorry. I don't know what it's doing with the video there, but I'm doing bad. Pancakes. Alright. Well, yesterday I felt like I had way too much sweet. I found these croissants. Yeah, I know. I found these croissants. And I was like, well, what can I put on the croissant? So I scoured.
Wait. Did you check the label?
What do you mean label?
Is there margarine in those croissants?
Mini sweet dough. croissant. Damn it. Doesn't smell sweet though. Just smells like, might be a little, damn it, I was about to say buttery. Alright, but what I decided to put on top is crab in the can. I've never bought any canned meat at the thing. And I worry that this might be oil-based as opposed to water-based. We're gonna find out. Oh, it looks water-based. It smells some sort of fight going on outside. It smells very fishy.
Great.
And it's quite watery.
You're just going to be munching that in with a spoon. You know that, right?
Yeah, hold on.
Oh, you're going to drain it?
It's very exciting footage of me draining my crab.
Crab drainer.
Wow, a lot of water in there. At least it's water. I hate when it's oil. Do you guys, you don't do any of this.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So sometimes they put the tuna, like when you get tuna in the can, sometimes it's in water and sometimes it's in oil. And I don't understand why you would ever pick oil. Oh God, it's terrible.
So now you just have compressed crab.
Yeah, now I just got a paste.
Ew. This is terrible, Katie.
This is the best thing I've ever done, Eric. Alright. And this is totally what I wanted to eat for breakfast.
A sweet croissant with...
I thought it was going to be a little more pasty, like spreadable, but that's fine. Sweet croissant and crab.
It's really not that good, is it? You just saying that's good, right?
Do I just do that?
Maybe.
Is this like a MO I have? No, it's fine.
I'm just happy that I can't smell it for some reason from here. Thank God the doors were opened.
The crab is good.
I really get a kick out of car names in Japan sometimes. Like this guy, he's a Marfy.
We are currently in Yoro Keikoku. It's the name of the area. And we're taking a walk down the Awamata no Taki walkway. And that means that we're going to be hanging out with some waterfalls today. And we just came down the stairs and bam, we're right at a waterfall. And we've decided that this isn't really a waterfall. It's more of a water stroll. Just strolling down that hill. Medium butt.
Look at this bridge.
Oh wow. These little huts are pretty cool too. It'd be nice to sleep here, hear the water stroll.
Guys, is it just me or does Katie look like Lois from Malcolm in the Middle today?
Is this a second reference to Malcolm in the Middle?
Yeah, you got the sound on here. Yeah, you got the Lois thing.
I got the bump.
Yep.
Yeah. I didn't do anything to my hair. I just woke up. I'm Lois, in like naturally. We're taking a lovely little stroll. This water stroll. That's what we're doing. Thus far, like the waterfalls aren't really like amazing. Like we've seen a lot of amazing things, and maybe our tolerance for water strolls is up here. But the stroll is really nice. They've made this lovely little paved walkway to go along the stroll stream. And I've kind of noticed over the last like 24 hours, maybe more, there's not many foreigners here. And I think that the book that we're using, like it really, no other foreigners are using this. We haven't seen any foreigners, and people kind of look at us like, you found out the secret. How did they get here? Oh my gosh. That's how I feel sometimes when they're looking at me. I don't know, like not in a bad way. They're not looking at you like, or anything like that. Nice faces, but they just seem surprised like, oh, you found these waterfalls? Nice job. So, maybe we'll find a foreigner someday.
I found one. So
So the highlight of that little walk certainly wasn't the waterfalls. The waterfalls were, I mean, they're nice, you know, the water, what do we call them, water strolls? They were okay. But the nice walk and like the pretty scenery. And then after we left the valley where the river is running, we walked through all these like, it's like rural Japan, like with farms and graveyards and things like that. And it just looked really cool. It's not some place you see very often, like when you spend a lot of time in Tokyo. And then there's like some pretty cool overviews of the valley from the road that you walk along to make a loop back to your car. So it was a pleasant walk. Japan doesn't have gangsters in the same sense that you would have in like the United States. Of course there's like Yakuza, but it exists, but it doesn't affect the daily man. Like when you're walking on the street, there's not like street thugs causing trouble. Like those dudes just stick to themselves, and I mean, I'm sure if you get involved with them, it's not the most pleasant thing, but like, it's not like in the States where you're gonna get like robbed at gunpoint or somebody's gonna carjack you. It's not like that kind of gangster. But they do kind of have this group of people that are sort of, maybe it's a bit of a derogatory term, I'm not sure, but they're referred to as Yankees. And it's like just dudes that like dye their hair orange and like just look kind of trashy. And a lot of times they have these motorcycles that are really noisy. And these dudes that are in front of us are, I'm assuming, kind of part of that subculture. And you can see on the back of the bikes, they've bent all of their license plates up so they can drive around like, you know, inappropriate ways. And it's more difficult for maybe the police or old people to get upset and like call the police with their license plate numbers and stuff. Kind of interesting. But yeah, this is about as dangerous as it gets in Japan, and these guys, kind of the same way the Yakuza would never like mess with normal people walking on the street. These guys would never like bother you about anything. I've never had heard of anybody having any encounter with these people or anything. They just can be kind of annoying because they're noisy.
My map in the car, like I wrote all over it, where we're going just says sexy statue. And apparently, I was just coming for the sex appeal, but apparently it's also got an amazing view, and we're not there yet. We will be soon, but it's gonna get sexy and gorgeous and beautiful. Yeah, I've done a good job.
It's like a date with me. You got a friend?
I do. I'm kind of scared of cats though.
Why?
They're shifty characters.
Look
at that, see all that shifting?
Why do you think they're shifty?
All that shifting. It's very shifty. Yep.
Ah!
See? What's up with this cat, man? So friendly. See? Why turn over so much? Just relax. I can't take this. I can't have fun with you. It's totally been worth the walk. The lady is gorgeous. She's not as seductive as I thought, but she's quite voluptuous, as Eric grabs his imaginary boobs to tell me to talk about the boobs. Yeah, she's very voluptuous, and I find that she has like these straps on the back of her dress that are kind of just flowing, and I assume it's always windy here since we're close to the water, and I really feel like that captured, like sometimes you can make statues actually feel, and they did. And the view just from the land over into the water was just amazing. And they actually had this little lock box. It's not a lock box, it's like a kind of a lock cage. And people come up and put locks on it to like solidify their love. So they go up to this area, and I got kind of fixated on the locks, and I was like, wow, there's lots of locks. And then I turned around and I just saw the view, and I was like, wow, it was really gorgeous, stunning. Best view of the Chiba so far. And we walked down here, they said there's some sort of shrine in this little area. We haven't found it yet. But we did find like, I don't know if this is an official geocache, but we found like somebody's got this little log here. So I'm letting them know that Chiba's nice. Yeah.
We found the little shrine, and it's got a pretty wonderful view of the ocean. We have come to a Michi no Eki, which is kind of like a rest stop again, but they have like, we mentioned it before, they have like restaurants and things like that. It's not as scummy as a restaurant is maybe in your head if you're from the States. It's a little bit higher class, but not a huge step up. And the reason we came here is because in our magazine it shows that they had a special dish that Katie wanted to try that we'll introduce you to in a minute. And that's kind of what drew us here. And the thing that's a bummer is the place is kind of, the food area is kind of just like a cafeteria. Like nobody here is cooking this food because they're inspired to cook this food. It's just like they're making the food. You know what I mean? Like it's not like, I'm a little worried about the quality of the food. And the thing that's interesting though, the building, outside the building is really crazy looking. It looks like a gigantic fountain. And there's like all this water running down it and stuff, and it really sticks out. And we've got a pretty nice view out the window from where we're sitting. Like we're sitting at this table and I've got a view of the ocean and everything, and that's really nice. My food is nothing that interesting. It's just shogayaki teishoku, and it's just like pork with this guy was waiting to do the video. It's just pork with like some Japanese sauce on it, and it's a set. So you've got rice and some vegetables and some fish that's going on Katie's plate, and some miso soup and some more like vegetables over here, like steamed vegetables and
That
stuff.
looks so good.
This is something we've definitely had and discussed in the past. So what's more interesting is Katie's food, but she has already informed me she's gonna rant a little bit. So let's see how this goes. Hit it.
We're in a monstrosity of a fucking building. I ordered some food, which I know I'm at a cafeteria now. My book brought me to a fucking cafeteria. It has been 40 minutes since I ordered this food, and I'm just wasting time sitting in this terrible, terrible cafeteria with, and everybody else in here is like, this is terrible, and nobody wants to be in this room. They're just in this room because they need to survive.
I have a question. Katie, the question I have for you is, how many penises have you seen since you come into the cafeteria?
I have seen one penis. I got flashed for the first time in this room. I hate it here. Okay, well, on to the food that I don't know is going to be any good.
The best part about it is the culprit is in the background.
Don't trust him.
Okay, so what did you get?
I got sazae don. So it's sazae, which I have no idea what that is.
It's a mollusk.
That's a mushroom.
It's a mollusk of some sort. That's all we really know.
I'm assuming this is it. Definitely it.
Is it turbo fishy?
It is a powerful mussel, which is what a mollusk is.
Yeah.
I thought the flavor might be terrible and scare me, but the flavor and the smell are really good to me right now because I'm actually pretty starved. But I'd say the quality of the food is better than we expected, but it doesn't imply that a 40-minute wait should have happened. Yeah, so I'm gonna eat because I'd rather be on the road doing something other than sitting in here ranting about being in here. So we're going.
It looks like oyakodon.
Yeah.
It's like scary oyakodon.
Scary oyakodon. I'm really happy to be out of there. The food was fine. It was not subpar, it was par.
I would say it's unoffensive. That's how I would review it. Unoffensive.
The miso might have actually been offensive considering that you like miso. But I just want to say that if I ever find out that this building is being demolished, I'm going to be out here watching it. Going, thank God it's not here anymore. Thank God it's not drawing people to its mediocre food with the long lines, with no other options. It is just, I'm really disappointed in that situation.
It was a bit of a waste of a time.
It was.
Let's go. We're going to this island, and apparently like one dude lives on this island.
And what kind of experience is this?
This is like a Tom Sawyer experience. It's like Tom Sawyer Island in Disneyland. Only it's like for real. So we're on this little boat with all these people, and these old dudes are like paddling somehow with these weird looking paddles, and we're crossing the bay, and we're almost there. I'm stoked.
He's in his natural habitat. Adventure Island.
I like climbing, it's fun. I don't have really good footwear for it right now because I'm wearing flip-flops, and that's kind of a bummer. It's still fun. I walked over this like 5 minutes ago, and now the tide has come in and it is more difficult to cross. This island's amazing. Like you come out on a little boat, and then you pay a lot of money. It's ridiculously expensive. It was
It is probably the most expensive thing, aside from the car rental, obviously.
Yeah, it was like $13. Well, the yen is weak right now. Let's just be generous. Let's say it was like $11.50 per person to come onto this island. And you get on the boat and you get all the way here and then you gotta pay. So it's like you're kind of stuck, you know? But they did post the prices before you got on the boat. But anyway, so then like, I like climbing things. So there's lots of like rocks and stuff sticking out of the ocean that you can climb on, and that's a lot of fun. And then you can explore, and then I found this stick and I gave it to Katie, and the wind blew through the stick and it whistled, like it was like through the stick. It was amazing. And then there's a path that goes like around the island, and we've been walking around the path, and they had this like little temple thing in the wall, and then they had, there's lots of weird plants. Like, there's no way all these plants are from this island. They had to have brought them here. And there's all these like stone things that are like all this ancient kanji on it that I can't read. And then there's a dude that like apparently lives here, and the house looks occupied. And then there's also kind of a house next to that house that looks occupied that's like you're allowed to go inside, and it's got like tatami that's like the oldest tatami in the universe.
Well, we think you're allowed to go inside.
Yeah.
Nobody but me went inside.
Yeah, but when other people didn't think it was weird you were inside. I'm pretty
No
sure
one
you
gasped.
Nobody gasped. She's in the ancient house. That didn't happen. Yeah, and then there's like this little garden and stuff near that, and then there's this like tunnel thing that we're in right now, and I don't know, you should come to this island. It's really cool. I was kind of thinking about like, I know we got to leave at some point because there's going to be a last boat situation happening, but I was thinking maybe we could just hide and stay on the island tonight. What do you think?
What are we gonna eat for dinner?
What are we going to eat for dinner? You got that calorie made in your bag, don't you?
We can get that bird. That bird, it's gonna be real edible.
Really?
So you notice I don't have the stick anymore, the whistling stick. And that's because there was this dead bird that had been like obviously sprawled out for like 2 months, and nobody had been like, man, we should move that dead bird. So I took the stick and I just pushed the dead bird off into the oblivion. Like, that dead bird did not need to be part of my experience on the top. Well, he needed to be part of my experience, but he doesn't need to be part of like some freaky kid's experience. He's gonna go up and touch it and like lick it and stuff.
So if you had to compare this island to Tom Sawyer's Island, which is better?
This is better. I had a whistling stick here.
And there's no racist
My
signs.
stick talked.
You remember the racist sign at Tom Sawyer's Island?
Yeah, there's no engines here.
It's rewarding.
That one's just jingle jangly.
Yeah, Dong is much better. I'm a Gong fan.
Was that gong or dong? I got you.
The oars on these little boats are really interesting. They've cut them into like a diamond shape, and then they rock them back and forth on this like piece of wood that they've cut that's like a half circle. And because of the shape that they've cut the oars into when they're in the water, it creates force or thrust to go forward. It's pretty weird. I've never seen anything like this before.
We've come to the most popular rice village next to Tokyo. I didn't even know that people were gauging the popularity of rice villages. Anyways, this place is astounding. We saw a map that shows like all the little chunks of water where they're growing rice, and it is just intricate and large. It's beautiful. Even though the sun isn't out, which would make it a little more beautiful, it's still really gorgeous and a lot of green. And we also found out that you can actually rent 100 square meters here and grow your own rice if you want to for $300 a month.
I don't know if it's a month or per season or something. I don't know. It didn't really explain.
$300 and you'll get this chunk of land for some sort of time. And you can grow some rice on it. And Eric and I both agreed that that would be really fun if we could actually do it. I would grow my own rice. One day I hope to eat the rice that I've grown. I wanna put my feet into the squishy mud. It sounds like fun. Oh, while we were at 7-Eleven, I thought, you know, we're gonna go and we're gonna see all of this rice, and it's totally green. And Eric always says that matcha tastes like grass. And I've got some mochi.
Goat food, y'all.
Yeah, it's goat food. I've got some mochi that has matcha in it, and there's also matcha cream on the inside. And the package says daifuku, and I think daifuku is when there is something inside of mochi or maybe other things, but You can see it says matcha cream, but it's not cream. It's just matcha and beans.
Does it taste like grass?
It tastes like grass, for real.
Can I have one?
It's the appropriate snack for looking at rice fields. You gotta get your snacks right when you go to these events. Eric was saying that, you know, we've kind of seen this before. And I agree. And he was saying we've kind of seen better quality. And I agree. But I've never seen it in our own backyard. And I feel like that's one thing that Japan can bring. Japan kind of feels like an amalgamation of like Western and Asian, and like I can't think of something really Western that we did on this trip already.
I don't know if I think Western is the right word, but maybe modern. Like when I think about these, I think about I've seen these like in rural Indonesia when there was like no electricity. And that's what rice fields that like look like this, these in big, huge operations, that's what they kind of feel like to me, is they feel ancient in a way. And to see this, not ridiculously close, we're in the country, but it's somewhat close to Tokyo, is I think is that kind of what you mean?
Well, I'm saying, you know, that Japan can offer us so many things, modern and kind of ancient. Again, using ancient.
I don't know, ancient's kind of a weird word, but
yeah, I mean, it provides us with a blend of a lot of things, because that's what Japan is becoming, is a blend.
Tiffany is here.
Oh, hello, Tiffany.
We wiggled our way through some back roads and we got ourselves to the other side of the rice terrace, and it's kind of cool to see from here.
The sunset today isn't going to be that great because it's quite cloudy, but at least we can rely on the navigation to perk it up. It's a beautiful sunset.
I hope that's a promise.
We're stopped on the side of the road. We're kind of on a windy road, and we were wondering, like, why is everybody stopped? Apparently there's construction on the road, and at the head of this line there is a number counting down, showing you when you're going to be able to go through construction. You don't just sit there and wait for some guy to flash you on. You wait for the timer to get down to 0, and then you're allowed to go. I've never seen that before.
We've completed our third night of sleeping in Chiba, and we found this place last night. We're way out kind of in the middle of nowhere, but there's a highway like right next to us, and we found this place that had this big rusty steel gate. Kind of looks like maybe you're not supposed to go in here, but it kind of looks like this gate has never been closed. And so we came up here a little bit and looked, and it just looks like a place where people park trucks, like some sort of company like does shipping or something. I don't know, they park their trucks here. But today is actually a holiday, so we kind of assumed they wouldn't be like functioning. And it appears to have been true because nobody came and bothered us at all last night. So we just kind of like parked right towards the entrance as to not like be in anybody's way. If they did need to get a truck in or out, you know, we don't have to like be like, okay, we'll give us 5 minutes so we move all our stuff around so we can leave. Yeah, so it went really well, and the slant that Tiffany is on is pretty killer. It's a pretty steep slant, almost a murderous slant, and I don't know, maybe Katie had some trouble with the slant. I don't know, yeah, so here's her slant, and I guess it doesn't look like much, but yeah, if you compare it to like, this is, the gate is flat, and yeah, it's pretty slanty looking, yeah. So did you sleep okay? I know at some point you mentioned you didn't.
I felt like I was just sliding down the hill for a while, and that felt it was really hard to get to sleep, but I did fall asleep at some point.
Yeah, you're a little bit slanty right now. Let me see if I can. There we go.
Sometimes when you come to these places, you find that one thing that says, you can totally stay here, it'll be fine. I think the land boat is what did it for me.
We had to fill up yesterday, and I thought it might be interesting to show what fuel here costs. Now, we didn't really do any shopping around. We just stopped at the first place we saw, so perhaps it gets cheaper. Sometimes maybe it gets more expensive. I'm not quite sure. But this shows that we got regular fuel, and it was 28.2 liters that we put into Tiffany, and it was 131 yen, I guess, per liter. And so the whole transaction worked out to 36.70, but there's a 2 yen per liter like savings, and I
think perhaps, I don't remember what that means. I think it could mean that Katie used, she has like this point card that she has that works at many stores. That might be what it is, but that could also mean she pumped it herself. I'm sorry, I really don't remember. It's really early right now too. So then after everything, the said and done, the total was $36.14. So that's like 35 bucks or so for almost a full tank of gas in this. And if you want to be a math wizard, you can figure out how many gallons that is, and then like how many dollars, and oh man, that would be, I'm not gonna try to figure that out. So good luck.
Where are we? Because seriously, a tuk-tuk just pulled up.
This is news that a tuk-tuk is legal to drive in Japan. So now I have a new thing to start shopping for. We need this. I'm gonna drive around. If anybody's been to Bangkok, you'll know what I'm saying. I'm gonna drive around Tokyo. I'm gonna pull up next to random people standing on the street. I'm gonna go, where you go? Then I'm gonna give them rides.
For free. Today is Kodomo no Hi, and that means Kids Day in Japan. So we're gonna go do some kids stuff. And we are at, it says Mother Farm, but the internet said Motherland. So I'm gonna continue to call it Motherland. We're the Motherland. And basically it's like a gigantic petting zoo from what we can tell. And the only reason I came to Chiba was to hopefully touch a capybara. If you don't know what a capybara is, Wikipedia. And I've never seen one of these in person, and I didn't learn about what they were until I came to Japan. So hopefully there's one in here, and we're gonna find it. Eric, the question is, are you a sheep or are you an alpaca?
Is that an alpaca or a llama?
Or either or. I don't think they know the difference.
I'm going to be taking this. This is totally me.
Yeah. One of the highlights of Motherland is the pig races. And I didn't realize that the kids were going to be involved in the pig races. They put little aprons on them with numbers that match the pigs, and they have to help their pig get to the end. Tapping on pigs. Excuse me, Mr. Pig. Pig-san, please. Please come into the end. I want to win Pig-san. Sumimasen.
We're trying to figure out what animal this is. Like, is that a capybara, or is it like some sort of like mutated kangaroo? Like, what are we looking at? But luckily, in our book, we've got mug shots to help us figure this out. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe it's a mata.
Yeah, this is a mata.
What's a mata in English? What is this thing? What is this?
We think it's a wallaby.
I don't think it's a wallaby. Okay, so we've confirmed that thing's a mata, but what's a mata? Like, it says, my Japanese dictionary says a mata in English is a mata. Where's this thing from? I'm gonna ask somebody and find out.
It says capybara is the animal that has a sharp teeth. Very dangerous, and we still haven't found him yet. He's in hiding. We will find him. I made a friend, and I can touch it. I'm treating it just like they did in the pig races. Gotta politely tap sumimasen. Pretty clean.
This cow just chased a baby away.
Yeah, it did. And then that baby waved goodbye. So long. He's absolutely terrifying!
Is he scary?
I love him!
He looks like one of those things from...
Look how they've dangerously caged him in. That doesn't look frightening at all.
It's one of those things from The Princess Bride.
Oh, yeah.
What is it, RUSS's or something like that? It looks just like that.
The rodents of unusual size or something.
Yeah.
Oh, he's magical.
They had this duck parade, and before the duck parade, all the ducks are in this little cage, like this little, not cage, but like paddock, duck paddock, and Like they're all like quacking and like pre-gamed and getting ready to go, and there's all these fights happening, and the ducks are like plucking at each other's eyeballs and grabbing each other's throats, and it's gruesome. And then they let them all go, and there's like this guy with a bell, and he's like the duck master. It's wild stuff. They built this big wooden dome here, and they've got this big glass wall that looks outside, and then they have this pretty fun little show where they bring in different kinds of farm animals and like let them run around and show you like sheep herding, and then they bring out like a pig and an ostrich, and
then they bring out the ostrich and they chase the ostrich around until the ostrich slams into the pony.
It was pretty funny.
It was the best part of Chiba. And I'm sad we didn't get it on film, but I laughed really hard. I could not. But you ever seen an ostrich smack dab slam into a pony? I have. We decided just to wait around for the next show, and it turned out it was a sheep show where a New Zealander who came out and had like a very atrocious Japanese accent-ish. I don't know how to explain. The way he was speaking in Japanese was like, wow. I don't know if that's part of the act. I think it might be. But he came out and was just genkiing around. He was super enthusiastic, and he sheared a sheep in like less than 5 minutes in front of like 1,000 people. And we realized how weird that is as like for a job. Like, so what do you do in Japan? Well, you know, I take this sheep out on stage and I shear it and people watch, and it was impressive. I'm not going to say it wasn't worth watching it by any means, but still a very weird job. So he sheared the sheep, and then he introduced us to some dogs, and then these dogs, like they'd put all these other sheep on pedestals and told us like all about all the other sheep, where they're from, why they're special, and they had a sheep pyramid. And then they did the tricks with the dogs, and then the dogs ran up on the backs of all the other sheep, and it was pretty impressive. Those sheeps and those dogs are like friends in a weird way. Can you imagine like the first time that a dog was put on the sheep, like, or the first time that the sheep had a dog put on it? Like, what are you talking about? Seems pretty strange, but I'm glad they're doing it.
We said this place was like a petting zoo earlier, and if it's a petting zoo, it's like a petting zoo on steroids. It's really quite large, and there's completely like different separated areas. Like there's like sheep area, and there's like horse area where you can get nose to nose with the glassy-eyed dinosaurs, and there are like the duck area, and there's the cow area. It's just like, it's huge. It's a really big complex. And I make this comparison about a lot of things in Japan, but if you've ever played Ocarina of Time, this feels a lot like the ranch in Ocarina of Time. It's like, I've been here kind of before. It's weird.
The view from here is pretty spectacular. Just seeing like, I don't necessarily think they're mountains, but the hills just rolling over top of one another. It's pretty gorgeous. And also, the view behind me is quite gorgeous. We've come to like a little like side section of Motherland, and it's full of cows. This is the cow area. And this actually reminds me a lot of my childhood, because when I grew up, I lived at a house that we had our backyard, but at the back of our backyard there was a wire fence, and the people behind us owned a whole bunch of cows, and we'd come outside and there'd just be cows outside. And my dog, who was like a little mutt, was like this big, would go out and like try to kill all the cows. She was real stupid, but the bravest thing I've ever seen in my life.
You think we can find Tiffany?
I think I see Tiffany, so this is good. It's a good start to the video, but there's a lot of interference before we get to Tiffany. A lot of students.
While driving up the western side of the Chiba Peninsula, by the coast, there was basically just one road, and it was pretty like jammed, like we weren't moving very fast. So we hopped off that main road and like went through these little tiny neighborhoods and like squiggled our way through these roads, and eventually made our way to this area that has got this like beautiful like mountain area, and there's supposedly some pretty cool hiking that we're gonna try to do for a bit. But we gotta watch the clock because we're running short on time before we have to head back to Tokyo, and return Tiffany to the rental agency. So hopefully everything works out fine. The bad news about this is we honestly haven't eaten anything today, and it's like 2 o'clock.
Well, we had like some supermarket pastries, and that was breakfast, and it's 2 o'clock now. And we are basically drying out our reservoir of snacks that we had in the car.
So like, we've got those brown sugar things, and that's what's happening now, and I don't know, what do we do though? This always ends up the thing that happens to us, and it's probably self-inflicted.
It's already pretty gorgeous. We've only taken like 20 steps in. It's pretty gorgeous. A lot of green, and the sun finally came out, and it's actually warm. Motherland was so cold. Everything was cold except for the sheep. When I touched the sheep were not cold. But yeah, the sun shines out and we're gonna enjoy it. We came to this area, I don't even know what this area is called. It's just this beautiful picture that we saw, and the beautiful picture was not this. The beautiful picture we saw was like a hanging rock and people standing on top of the rock. But apparently it's an entire like area just of amazing things to see. And this is the first amazing thing that we've come across. Eric looked at me like this when we turned the corner and saw it. It is huge. It's kind of Kamakura-esque. It reminds us a lot of the Daibutsu there. And I'm still a Kamakura fan. I don't know. Something about Kamakura really got me. But Eric seems to prefer this one. But they're both stunning.
This one you gotta work for a little bit. I don't know, Kamakura is just like, you know, you walk about 5 minutes from the beach and boom, you're there. This one you gotta climb up some stairs. I like that.
This is a moment where you put your glasses on. Another thing that I totally didn't expect to happen was the yellow on top of the trees. These yellow trees during this non-fall season is just, it's blowing my mind.
Yeah, I wonder, this is incredible, but I wonder what it would look like in, like, during the time that the leaves are changing in the fall. Like, what would that look like? This is definitely really amazing though. It's an unexpected texture.
I'm loving it. So one of the souvenir things that people tend to bring back from a trip to Nokogiri-yama. Nokogiri-yama is where we're at. They go to the top of this rock and then they take a picture from below, so you can kind of see the rock hanging underneath them. And the line is epic long. I can only imagine how long people would be in the line to take a picture on there.
And the question I have is, you have to have 2 people to take a picture. So does one person wait in the line and then gets the picture taken by the other person, and then they switch and they do it all again? Is that what's happening here? I don't know, I'm not clear on the system. I don't know if there is a system.
Yeah, exactly. So we're just gonna head on past that and just imagine ourselves up at the top of that rock.
It's in here. That wasn't like climbing Mount Fuji difficult to get up there, but there were quite a few stairs and it did take quite a while, and I'm hungry and it was difficult. I'm a wuss. But Katie's like basically running up the stairs now. I think Slowbot might have died.
Yesterday when we were playing on Sawyer-san Island, I had noted that like a lot of things reminded me of Petra, like the colors of the rocks, the cuts of the rocks, and like the lines within the rocks, like not where they got cut, but the colors and how they moved in the rocks. And now we're not really even close to there anymore. We're on the other side of Chiba, on the other coast, and we're starting to see marvelous things that look like those rocks. Bladdow.
That's incredibly big and incredibly shocking.
That's what they say about me. I think this is the last unexpected thing that we're going to see today. It's 1,500 carvings of what we're going to call monks. We don't know exactly what they are, so we're just slapping a word on it. It's monks. And it's 1,500 carvings in stone. If you've ever been to a Thai cave, any cave in Thailand, this is the same thing. Like, that's what they love to do in Thailand, is put a bunch of Buddhas in a cave. That's where Buddha loves to be.
This is on a cliff.
Okay, it's on a cliff, and the atmosphere of this place has been much better than a cave, for real. It's really nice, it's shady, and trees, lovely trees, and gorgeous scenery, and challenging stairs. I'm loving the stairs. I'm eating them up, people. Yeah, it's been really fun doing the stairs and just walking around. It's kind of challenging and rewarding at the same time because you're getting all these little unexpected things. I just thought we were going to see a rock hanging out over a cliff, but we saw a lot more than that here at kyde. Yama. Yesterday I was kind of talking about how Japan can give you that, and I'm going to say Western, I'm not going to say modern, I'm going to say Western. It can give you that Western and that Asian feel. Like right now we're standing at this amazingly Asian feeling area with all these wall carvings and Buddha imagery. It's totally Asian. But this morning we were standing at a farm petting some sheep and some cows and watching a dog on a sheep's back. That feels really Western to me. And I know that obviously they're doing that in Japan, but I mean, I don't think that the background of that comes from Asia. So you can really kind of have it all here, is how it feels to me. Cows, Buddha, can have it all.
Stopped in the bathroom on this mountain, and I found the scariest thing in the world. Can you find the car that was parked by the foreigner? Wonder which one it could be.
What could be this one?
Looks like another foreigner is here.
I got a potato salad sandwich. We are cutting it down to the wire to get Tiffany back to the not dealership, but the people that gave it to me.
Rental company.
Yeah, that's basically what we do. Do as much as you possibly can, and in the last like 3 hours, freak out and drive really fast. Oh, we're not driving that fast.
But you are eating the potato salad.
I am eating the potato salad. We do not have time to restaurant at all.
Brinks.
Alright, so I've just been through some real stressful stuff. I'm a control freak. Okay? Complete and utter control freak. And we just basically had to wait in traffic for 3 hours. And it's now over the time that we were supposed to be back to the rental place. And we couldn't call them because we don't have a phone. And I mean, we won't be able to talk to them if we get there, get them on the phone anyways, so what's it really matter?
Telephone Japanese is it's tough.
So at this point, we're in no man's land on the rental situation. I have no idea what's going to happen from here on out. And we just found out that the reason that we were waiting is because tons and tons of people are getting in line for a tourist attraction that happens only on this bridge. Like, it's some sort of just come here and have food and enjoy being on the bridge, but that has clogged up the purpose of the bridge, is to get across to Tokyo. So, wow. I feel relieved now that we're moving. I was really stressed while we were just sitting there, like unbelievably stressed. But now we're going. Yeah.
And like, seriously, it was 2.5 hours and we went like 2 kilometers. Like, it was seriously like a huge gridlock. And then to get across the bridge, this is kind of unrelated, but still kind of shocking. To get across this bridge from Chiba to Tokyo is $25. Like, whoa, it's a lot of money.
I was expecting 13.
And I thought that was a lot.
Yeah. So, times 2. Yeah. Chiba. We love Chiba. Right now, it's really kind of difficult to talk about Chiba because you've just spent 2.5 hours But Chiba is amazing. I had a really great time in Chiba, just seeing all the things, and I thought it was just going to be boring, because when I think about Chiba and I compare it to Tokyo, I assume it's going to be really boring. But it was exciting and it was fun, and I would definitely go back.
What was your favorite memory?
Favorite? Well, the ostrich running into the pony, really. that was a moment in my life to go down in the books. But my favorite thing that was actually caught on camera was the yellow of the trees that we actually saw today. Like, that just was gorgeous to me. It felt like fungus come to life. I mean, and fungus is living, but it really looked like fungus to me. I don't know. Really beautiful. Fungus is beautiful. What was yours?
I liked the Tom Sawyer Island that we went over to on that little boat and like did exploring. That was awesome for me. I thought that was a lot of fun. I like Chiba. See, in my mind before this weekend, Chiba was that place that the airport was. Like, that's really all it was. I knew there were some farms and stuff, but like, you know, it's just like, you know, I didn't know what there was. And I'm really happy that I got to go and see that it's actually a really beautiful place. And it's way more to me now than just like the airport place, you know? So it's this cool peninsula, and there's beaches on both sides of it, and there's a lot of beautiful stuff in between. The one thing I wish we had done that we had trouble with the whole trip was eating special foods and stuff, like finding special things to eat. Partially because when you're outside of cities, the hours of restaurants are not that good. They kind of like, they close early, like, and then we want to be out doing things with daylight and then eating once the sun goes down. But once the sun goes down, all the restaurants in the countryside are closed. So that kind of bit us a little bit. And then we were hit with the double whammy of it being a holiday, and a lot of places, restaurants are closed, like they do specialties and stuff, are closed for holidays. So they kind of, I'd like to have experienced a little more food. But yeah, everything else was a complete delight. The island was a lot of fun, and the piglet race. The piglet race was amazing, watching those little kids. Yeah, so yeah, I don't know, I would definitely go back, but I think we were thinking of maybe going to the prefecture north of Chiba as Ibaraki, so maybe we'll look at going there in the future instead. I don't know, I want to explore more places, but at the moment I just want to get the car back and figure out what's going to happen next.
We've been underwater for this entire video.
Yeah, we're in a tunnel, huh?
We're in a water tunnel.
We're off 2.5 hours after they've closed, so we're just leaving Tiffany here in their parking garage, and then I guess something will happen, and we're not quite sure. And it's a bummer, and it's been stressful, and we've been hollering, and it's just like, rawr. But then we saw one of the other cars that's been dropped off late, and I feel like perhaps our evening hasn't gone as bad as it could have. Have a look at this one. They had a bad time. The car is all dented and accessible. Does that make you feel a little better, other people's misery?
Yeah. I mean, I'm just glad that we weren't going down the road like this. God, that really would have just been...
You know what, though? It might have pushed the absurdity over the limit to just being laughable.
We didn't have that. We didn't have a laughable absurdity. We just had normal bullshit. And normal bullshit's not funny. It's just normal. So, well, anyways, I didn't bust up a car.
Not yet. The evening's not over.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
So we left the car up on the 9th floor, and then we went down to the 2nd floor where you're supposed to leave, like you deal with the people. The desk is there. Only it's just like a desk, and there's not like a lockbox for like dropping off the key or anything. Like, what do you do with this in this situation? There's like no guidance here. And so we like left the key by their telephone, like under a little curtain thing, and I wrote a note, and I don't know what's gonna happen next, so we'll see. So the car is now theirs. And for those wondering, like, we tried to call them. Like, I mean, I know Japanese telephones is like kind of a pain, but like we were like, okay, screw it, we'll call them. But the only phone number that they have for after hours is a toll-free number, and it can only be dialed from a landline. And well, it's not 1983, so we don't have a landline, so we couldn't call it. So yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen. It's a mystery. But it's really late now, and I've got a big old bowl of cheese gyudon, and I am stoked to eat it. Guys, we got some slow bot action going on here.
No, I'm trying to keep it medium.
Oh, medium bot today?
Yeah.
What's the change?
I think I can handle it.
Why? But like, what changed in your life?
Diet, exercise. And yeah, I'm focusing on my breathing, even though now that you're talking to me, I can't focus on my breathing.
Come on, Lois. Lois bot.
I'm coming. Scary. They're big. I think this is the last.
It would be much nicer if they would just walk through the shot, because it looks way less awkward than when that happens.
Let's go! Unari-kun! Hey everyone, we have a Patreon page and we'd really like for you to check it out. It'll allow you to contribute to us and make these crazy adventures we've been going on continue and get even better. So we'd really love for you to follow the link and learn more about Patreon and us. Go for it. Let's adventure!